Now that I have my mobile navigation functional and my desktop navigation functional, what I want to do is I want to make them both look good and the mobile appear on mobile view and the desktop appear on desktop view, and only in those places. So desktop only wants to appear in desktop view, mobile only wants to appear in mobile view. So what I want to do is I'm just going to do this with CSS Designer. I don't need to do this using tutorials. I'm going to need to add a selector for mobnav here. So I'm going to add a selector for mobnav. There it is, added. And now I'm going to go and change some settings and mess with some stuff. Now I want this mobile navigation to have a background first of all, and that background should probably be the same color as my mobile navigation, just for consistency. Sorry, my desktop navigation, just for consistency. So I'm going to go and find where I used that color, which I think, if I remember correctly, was under the unordered list somewhere in here. Oh, if I put show set back on, we'll be able to see. There you go, there's that color. So FFDA9F, don't have to remember that, I'm just going to copy it. I could write it down on a notepad in front of me. Control C to copy. Then I'm just going to come back up the top, go to my mobnav, and in the background, set that same color. Control V, go, that's exactly the same color now. That's what I want to see, isn't it? What I'll also want to do is I want to make sure that this is fixed at the top of my page, probably. Now I might leave it fixed at the top of the page just above this scalable header here. I think I'll leave the header in and just collapse all of this space under here. So I instead of having my header, my menu, then my content, I'm going to have my menu, my header, and then my content. Now I can do that by changing the position of my menu and also fixing it to the top here. So even when I scroll up and down, my menu is always available for my user, so they don't get lost and have to scroll all the way back up on their phone to get to my menu. To do that, I'm going to set a position of fixed. So we come to position, right at the top here, set a position of fixed. Right, that fixes the position. Now you can see it's gone a little bit awry here. That's okay. I'm going to change the position from the top of the page in pixels to 0. That's about right. Now you can see it's spaced to exactly that edge there. Now I may need it to go the whole width of the phone. So width %, 100. 100%, whoops, that's 110%, 100% of my box there. It might need to have a little bit of padding at the side there just to squeeze it out of the edge, or I might put it the whole width. Let's just do that for now. Just messing with the settings here just to get it the way you want it. I hadn't really planned how I was going to have this. Yeah, so if I set 0 pixels from the left as well as the top, it sits all the way to the edge there, all the way to the edge over here. Might just add a little bit of padding just so it's not too close to there. Actually, what would be really nice would be maybe adding 10, something like that. I want to try and get it nice and lined up if I can. Maybe we'll add it all the way around the outside. We'll add 10 pixels. Did that work on my padding? Yes, it did. There you go. That's quite a nice, large, open space for my menu there. I may need to push my header down because of this. This is where you start to then have to make decisions about what it is that this should look like. You'll also notice I have across here this double border at the bottom of each of my things. I might want to include that in my menu bar as well. So I'm going to just show you how I did that, just so you can see. If I come down to this area here, which is border, I'm going to set at the bottom of this a medium thickness style double, and then a color of, now they're all in different dark colors, these, so I think I've probably set it to black. We'll just set it to black for now, and that should give me this double border. It's not quite thick enough, so I must have used thick. There you go. Right, so now I've got that double border line. It keeps the style throughout my page and links this all the way down the page. Nice top navigation bar, slides in across there. I could go and change these colors in the actual navigation itself. Not going to do that, as I mentioned. I'm going to want to do a couple of other things, as I say. I'm going to push my header down a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. We're going to main header in my global view and just saying, well, you know what, just above here, give yourself a bit of a margin of, let's say, 20 pixels. Maybe not enough, let's say 30 pixels. That looks a little bit better. That'll do. Right, so now I've got 30 pixels for my header, is all the way up there, looking nice. Great. I'll need to turn that off again later on, but for the global view, that's looking quite good. Last thing to do here, of course, is to change my desktop navigation to get rid of that entirely. So to do that, I'm going to go to add a selector, and I want to add hash #DTNav. And then here, I'm going to change the visibility to hidden, and that will get rid of all of the content. And then I'm going to set the display to none, and what that will do is it will collapse the whole box there. See, that whole box is collapsed. That works well. Now the only problem I've got is I've got that double border there now, so there's a few little niggly bits that need adjusting. So let's maybe even go as far as to, with the main navigation, if we look at this, get rid of its border. We can always add it again later. So I'm going to copy that just so I do add it again later. Whoops. Copy that. And then I'm going to just get rid of each of these border things. Beautiful. Actually, that was fine. Yeah, so now I've got this set up in this way. Mobile navigation looks great. My mobile view is perfect. If I come across to my desktop view, though, of course, it looks exactly the same because I haven't told it not to. So I now need to, in my media query, make changes to things I made in my global view. So firstly, I'm going to need to add a selector for my mobile navigation. And I'm going to need to just get rid of that mobile navigation now. And I do the same here as I did for my desktop in my mobile view, changing the display to none. And I'm also going to change the visibility here to hidden, even though it's already gone. I'm probably going to get rid of it anyway, just because it makes a little bit more sense to do it that way. I've got this quite large space, these 30 pixel space at the top of my page. That doesn't actually look too bad to me now, so I could leave that in there with this little bit of extra space. If you don't like it though, of course, all you have to do is make sure your media query is selected, go to your header, set my margin here to auto, and then it puts it back to the top of the page. So it's the margin that I changed in my global view, so it's the margin that I need to change back in my desktop view. Now we'll see that same thing happen with my desktop navigation. I'm going to need to add a selector for my desktop nav, hash dt nav, and then I need to reveal the stuff that I hid. So I changed display to none. Now I want it to be block. That just tends to be bring back my box. Now the box is back. And then visibility is now back to visible, and now my navigation bar should come back. I'm going to need to add those borders to things again. So I've got my border here. I want that other border to come back underneath. So once again, add to my main nav this time, which contains both my navigation bars, a border which is going to have a thickness of thick, a style of double, and of course I copy and pasted the color, or I copied the color, ready to paste it. There we go, and that's like a darkish red color, I believe. And now I've got my desktop navigation in place. with the drop down in my desktop view. I've got my mobile navigation in place in my mobile view, and it all looks really good, and I'm very happy. Now I just need to go and make that drop down work in my mobile view.